We've been telling you about Ohio Turnpike tax scams, but if you got a bill for an unpaid toll from the Turnpike, that could be real.
Our 11 Investigates team found many, as in hundreds of thousands of people are missing a tolling plaza. Lead investigator Brian Duggar discovered that the much heralded new toll collection system has been plagued by a number of issues.
In April, the Ohio Turnpike new toll collection system went live. 9 toll plazas no longer collect tolls. That's because 2 plazas were added in Swanton and Newton Falls in Trumbull County.
A challenge for us, if you are not an Easy Pass customer, you have to follow the overhead signs and pull off and pay your toll or pull a ticket where appropriate.
And many times, that is simply not happening. 11 Investigates pulled records for April 10th to June 10th at the Swanton Plaza. That's milepost 49. 256,966 westbound vehicles without an Easy Pass didn't stop to pay a toll.
$2.
We paid ours, but we are all alone as cars sped by in the Easy Pass lanes. About 30% of vehicles on the Turnpike do not have an Easy Pass, meaning that some of those passing us will likely get a letter in the mail like this. $19. Now, if all those vehicles got an invoice, the Turnpike would collect $4.9 million. And that was a number that the public information officer did not want to address. Can you see why some people might view this as a money-making scheme by the Ohio Turnpike?
It's very important to avoid any billing issues.
To speak with an agent, press or say 3.
We are also told that people can dispute the charge with customer service if they can get through.
Your estimated wait time is 120 minutes.
Other days, the wait is longer.
We are aware that we are experiencing high volume of calls into our customer service center. We have expanded hours daily, as well as including Saturday hours, and we are also hiring more staff to work during the week to handle the increase in number of phone calls.
It seems pretty clear that many drivers simply do not understand the new tolling system, despite signs and outreach efforts by the Turnpike. Did the Ohio Turnpike do a good job in educating the public before the system went live?
We issued a series of news releases, one on March 22nd, and when we went live, explaining how the new toll collection system works.
But did the Ohio Turnpike do a good job in educating the public before this went live?
Yes. We understand there are some growing pains with our customers explaining the new system.
Now, this issue isn't just a Turnpike problem. Many Easy Pass users are also receiving letters in the mail because their Easy Passes aren't mounted correctly. It needs to be mounted in an area that's not tinted. Now, we have a video on WTOL.com to show drivers exactly how to properly do this, but there are a lot of angry drivers getting unwanted letters. And if you don't pay that toll, you risk ending up in collections and not being able to renew your plates. Reporting in studio, this is Brian Duggar for 11 Investigates.
Well, since April, the Ohio Turnpike has been using a new system for collecting tolls. At 4 plazas across the state, a driver without an Easy Pass must pull through the plaza and pay a toll.
Yeah, but that message has not been reaching some drivers. Late last month, our 11 Investigates team reported people are getting $19 bills in the mail.
And since that report, our team has been flooded hearing from many of you. Lead investigator Brian Duggar has this story.
On July 30th, 11 Investigates reported that 257,000 drivers missed paying a toll at a new Swanton Plaza in the first 2 months that it was operating. Did the Ohio Turnpike do a good job in educating the public before the system went live?
We issued a series of news releases, one on March 22nd, and when we went live, explaining how the new toll collection system works.
But did the Ohio Turnpike do a good job in educating the public before this went live?
Yes, we understand there are some growing pains with our customers explaining the new system.
Our viewers did not agree with those comments from the Turnpike's communications director. A social media post generated more than 600 comments. But then we asked viewers to send us their stories, and they did. Eventually, 100 comments over the first several hours, and we were sent dozens of emails. Viewers also wanted to tell us their stories.
I'm an experienced, confident driver on that road, and I wasn't able to figure out what to do in time, my first time driving on that.
I was too busy watching traffic and never paid any attention to the sign.
I didn't get off at one toll.
In 9 separate interviews, common themes began to emerge. The Turnpike did not prepare the public for the changes.
I did not know they changed everything, because me going 70 to 75 miles an hour, I'm not trying to look on the east side. I'm not trying to look at the cars in front of me.
Your estimated wait time is 120 minutes.
Customer service has been very difficult to reach.
I think their customer service is horrible, as it takes forever to get a hold of somebody. You just get a notice in the mail. Calling, I don't have 3 hours, 5 hours to sit on the phone and wait to speak to somebody about a bill that I shouldn't have got in the first place.
The Easy Pass system is also failing.
I'm one of the people that has an Easy Pass. I'm not just blowing through the toll plaza. I have an Easy Pass that's not being scanned.
I'll give you a customer service number and you can take it up the phone.
And no one is happy about being charged the entire $19 fee from Pennsylvania to Indiana.
I think they're taking advantage of people by making us, pay the entire fee.
Dozens of emails, 9 Zoom interviews, disgruntled drivers speaking in one voice.
They need to be transparent about the issues and not placing blame on the consumer.
So there still appears to be a disconnect between what we're hearing from drivers and what the Turnpike says they're hearing. Now, a Turnpike official told me that they aren't getting angry phone calls. I was also told that they've added hours for their customer service team and wait times will go down. Now, this is definitely not what drivers are telling us. In fact, I called customer service yesterday and I could not reach a representative. So we're going to continue to stay on top of the story. If you've had a bad experience with the Turnpike, email us at 11investigates@WTOL.com. Reporting in the newsroom, this is Brian Duggar for 11 Investigates.
After our 11 Investigates team reported unexpected bills from the Ohio Turnpike, we have now learned that the Turnpike is suspending late fees. The bills stem from drivers missing the new Swanton Toll Plaza. Our team reported in late July that more than 250,000 drivers missed the toll in the first 70 days of operation. As a result, many people received bills for $19. And drivers unable to get a hold of customer service were left sometimes waiting for hours to talk to someone. In a letter to us, the Turnpike acknowledged the issues and announced the suspension of late fees. We are also told that no accounts will be turned over to collections until the customer service issue is resolved. Lead investigator Brian Duggar will be meeting with Turnpike executives, the executive director, tomorrow.
Well, Stephen, you're saying there's 2 crashes on the Turnpike?
Yeah, so we're looking at 2 issues on the pike this morning to get your morning started. So we're dealing with a semi-fire, also a crash. So this is 80 heading eastbound, so eastbound on the Turnpike this morning.
4 people are dead following several crashes this morning on the Ohio Turnpike.
Last Thursday, 4 people died in a series of crashes on the Ohio Turnpike. That first crash took place near a new toll plaza that has caused a lot of confusion among drivers. Exit 49 in Swanton.
And not too far from the airport. In late July, our 11 Investigates team reported that 257,000 drivers either missed the toll or monitors did not detect their Easy Pass.
Tens of thousands of drivers have since received an invoice for about $20, and hundreds of them have contacted us. Now, lead investigator Brian Duggar sat down with the Turnpike officials in the days before the crashes to discuss the Turnpike toll turmoil.
In the early morning hours of Thursday, a driver unexpectedly slowed near exit 49 on the Turnpike and was hit from behind by a semi. At least 2 other accidents then followed. 4 people died, several others were injured. Exit 49 was the focus of a July investigation by 11 Investigates. Records show many drivers without an Easy Pass are confused by what to do at that plaza. Eastbound, a driver must pull through the plaza to get a ticket. $2. Westbound, a toll must be paid at the plaza. 257,000 people either missed the toll or did not have their Easy Pass detected in the first 70 days of operation.
I am concerned because I use the Turnpike myself, and I found it confusing.
The numbers have now grown to 440,000 affected between April 10th and August 10th. 2 days before the deadly crashes, 11 Investigates sat down with the Turnpike's executive director, Farzan Ahmed, and customer service manager, Amanda Ginley. They acknowledged there have been problems with the new system.
30 days into the system, once we started invoicing, that's when we realized that our effort was not good enough.
After our initial investigation, we received hundreds of comments from people who received invoices for $19.25 after missing a plaza. Some had an Easy Pass that was not detected. Most said they were confused.
The buck stops with me. I approve all the plans. I approve the plans that we are going to put out a press release. I approve the plans that we are going to get on social media and do Twitter. Well, I've learned a lesson. If we ever have to do this again, perhaps we'll hire a marketing company, perhaps we'll hire a media company to launch an aggressive media campaign 6 months ahead of time.
Compounding the issues, drivers have been frustrated by attempts to get through to customer service.
Your estimated wait time is 120 minutes.
Some wait times have been as long as 6 hours.
We worked with our consultants to try to come up with projections on what and who we thought would be calling us. Originally, we had projected that we would only need 18 representatives to handle the call volume, but obviously that was a surprise after our go-live date. We had determined that number was not sufficient.
So the Turnpike has extended customer service hours and is planning to hire at least 4 more call takers.
Not a single customer has said that once they reached a customer service representative, their experience was anything but pleasant. We are very happy about that, but now we need to do something so that our customers don't have to wait for hours to reach us. That's not right.
Records obtained by 11 Investigates show that representatives spent an average of 7 minutes 23 seconds with each customer who got through in July. Ginley was asked to walk us through a typical interaction.
We apologize for the inconvenience and also the really long wait to speak with a representative. What we can do at this time is correct the entry location. That way you're paying for the correct fare of what you traveled. So we can reduce that toll from $19.25 down to the correct rate.
Records provided to us indicate that 17,500 invoices were adjusted between April 10th and August 10th. But in light of last week's tragedy, safety is a concern at the new plaza in Swanton. A driver previously told us of his experience for a story that we ran in early August.
I did not know they changed everything, because me going 70 to 75 miles an hour, I'm not trying to look on the east side, I'm not trying to look at the cars in front of me or whatever, trucks.
I learned something from it. There was one gentleman who said, I was in the left lane and the sign is over there. I'm not going to go across 3 lanes. Bravo, you did the right thing, sir. You did the right thing. I don't want you to go across 3 lanes like that because that's unsafe. That's the problem.
Ahmed says part of the solution is an educational campaign.
We underestimated the number of customers who would not understand that system. I take that. I'm the director, the buck stops with me.
And he asked drivers to call customer service or to fill out a form online to contest charges. And he emphasized that no one should have to wait for hours on the phone to talk to a representative.
And if you're concerned that you're going to get dinged with late fees and collections, no, you're not. No, you're not. We are suspending that until we get all this figured out.
We'll get to those stories and your forecast here in just a minute. But first, breaking news as we come on the air. We're learning more this evening about last month's deadly crashes on the Ohio Turnpike. And for the first time, we're learning the Turnpike's new toll plaza system may be to blame. This has been a focus of our 11 Investigates team since the crash happened back on August 15th. Lead investigator Brian Duggar joins us live in studio with these brand new details. Brian?
Yeah, Jeff, this is what we know. I just got my hands on a series of supplemental reports from the Ohio State Highway Patrol. These reports go into detail about what troopers saw and heard in the moments and hours after those deadly crashes. Now, according to the report, the driver in a car involved in the initial crash told a trooper from her hospital bed that she slowed from 70 to 50 miles per hour to avoid missing the eastbound Swanton Township Plaza. Her SUV was then hit from behind by a tractor trailer. And this is a key point. The report says she began to cry as she expressed confusion about this new plaza. And in a written statement to troopers, she said they need to change the way it was designed. Her husband and son were in the back seat and died in that initial crash. 2 other people died in separate crashes. Now, Exit 49 began operating in April and has been the subject of multiple 11 Investigates reports. Hundreds of people have reached out to us after they missed that plaza, saying they were confused. But this is the first time that a driver involved in a fatal accident actually blamed plaza confusion. Now, an initial NTSB report is expected to be released any day, and a Turnpike official provided the following statement. The causes of the crashes remain under investigation by the Ohio State Highway Patrol. The National Transportation Safety Board is also conducting a separate independent investigation. We are awaiting the results, so we cannot draw any conclusions at this time. You can find much more about this story on WTOL.com, including our previous investigations and the patrol's reports. Reporting in studio, this is Brian Duggar for 11 Investigates.
The executive director of the Ohio Turnpike told board members this morning that the Turnpike's new tolling system is performing well. Our 11 Investigates team has been reporting on issues with the system since it went live in April. Specifically, we found a large number of people who have been confused by the new toll plaza in Swanton Township. The executive director, Farzan Ahmed, told the board that 97.2% of the tolls have been successfully collected under the new system. But that's actually worse than the 97.4% rate given to us during our first investigation in early August. In total, more than 1.2 million drivers have had issues in the first 6 months of operation. You can find all of our Turnpike stories on WTOL.com and our YouTube channel.
Toll revenue on the Ohio Turnpike has now eclipsed more than $300 million for the year. That is an all-time high. But 2024 has also been one of the deadliest years in the 241-mile roadway's history. 17 people have been killed. Our 11 Investigates team has been compiling data for 3 months and found some of it is not encouraging. Lead investigator Brian Duggar explains what he's uncovered.
All right, ready to go.
On a recent weekday, Sergeant Adam Brinsfield of the Ohio State Highway Patrol scans the horizon on the Ohio Turnpike. The hunt is on for commercial vehicles with potential safety violations.
A lot of these owner-operators or companies try to keep costs as best they can. So with that being said, they're at times, taking shortcuts on maintaining the vehicle.
Minutes later, his words become reality. He pulls over a semi going 77 and a 70.
65, Ohio trailer, Tom Henry.
The registration expired in May. Brunsfield's inspection reveals 2 tires with almost no tread. And the driver tells Brunsfield the company is going through bankruptcy and cutting back on maintenance, taking a shortcut.
This truck will be placed out of service. The driver's side number 3 axle, inner and outer duals, were both out of compliance. They both had less than 1/32 tread depth. So ultimately, this truck will be placed out of service.
On August 4th, a semi's tire blew out, resulting in a fatal accident. One of 17 fatalities this year, making 2024 the deadliest year on the Turnpike in the last 2 decades. The deadliest day? August 15th, when 4 people died in a series of crashes. 11 Investigates wanted to take a deeper look into why the Turnpike seems to be getting more dangerous. So here are some interesting numbers. Speeding violations up 25%. Distracted driving 146%. And volume 9.9%. But these numbers were even a little bit bigger when we looked at commercial traffic. Distracted driving up 183%. Volume 21.4%. And when you think about all the commercial traffic on the road, it now makes up 27.4% of all the vehicles on the Turnpike. And at that point, even if they're not causing an accident, they are there and they are often involved in serious accidents.
As the economy continues to grow, and the economy has continued to grow and will continue to grow, you're going to see an increase in the volume of freight.
Tom Balzer, president of the Ohio Trucking Association, explains that shipping is an evolving industry.
You used to go to stores and pick things up where the truck would just deliver a large truckload of product to a store.
But now they are going to distribution centers like Amazon. Then delivery trucks take it to a doorstep.
So as you see this shift to more distribution centers, more miles are going to be on more major artery roads like the Turnpike to be able to get to distribution centers, which are positioned very closely to these arteries.
Surprisingly, the volume increases aren't being replicated on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. In comparing Pennsylvania's numbers against Ohio, overall volume is only up 1.4% versus 9.9% in Ohio. Commercial volume has not increased at all in the past year, and Pennsylvania commercial volume is 10% less than Ohio. Multiple studies show a correlation between increased volumes and the number of accidents.
This particular stretch.
Santiago says drivers need to be more alert.
Hopefully that is more an increase in a sense of urgency and understanding how important it is to be fully aware of your surroundings and not distracted when you're driving. Following, speed limits and maintaining assured clear distances ahead. Doing things that are responsible on everyone's part when sharing the road, specifically in areas where we see an increase in commercial vehicle traffic.
Lamar Stewart travels the Ohio Turnpike once a week, and he says it's a different turnpike.
Well, the traffic volume is high on the Turnpike. I mean, I noticed it within the last 2 years, by me traveling on Wednesday, and pretty much I like to stay in that left-hand lane.
The Highway Patrol has taken notice of the numbers. Enforcement stops are up 27% this year. Speeding and distracted driving have been a major focus.
Coming out of the pandemic, we kind of saw that it wasn't just speeding, it was the extreme speeds. And we started to see an increase in what those looked like. We knew from just anecdotally, some of those folks that we were interacting with and pulling over didn't even realize they were doing it. The roads are wide open. Unfortunately, those behaviors kind of continued.
Distracted driving is up 183% for commercial drivers, but they aren't alone in their bad behavior.
We have seen some things that are, that everyone else sees. Someone putting on makeup, someone eating, absolutely reading an actual newspaper.
11 Investigates obtained the reports for each of this year's fatal accidents. Causes vary. Pedestrians in the roadway, motorcyclists, vehicles, and semis losing control, blown tires, distracted driving. Whatever the cause, the numbers point to a more dangerous turnpike. Accidents are up 1.1%. Serious accidents, 36.4%. Number of injuries are up 7.5%. And deaths have climbed 89%. And 10 of 16 accidents have involved a semi, though that doesn't mean that the semis were to blame. Balzer says the industry is using cameras, training, and even AI to be safer.
We have technologies through artificial intelligence that can monitor, just like some of the newer vehicles that are coming out that can tell if your eyes are not on the road. We can monitor, and it will highlight for us and alert the safety department if a driver has violations or times when their eyes are off the road.
But the Highway Patrol is also working to ensure those commercial vehicles are safe to drive. Commercial inspections have shot up 124%. It's just one tool for a numbers-driven force.
Every one of them has a number attached, has a name attached to it. Whether it's the person getting the citation, and hopefully we're changing their behavior and we're educating them and they become more aware. But more importantly, every one of those fatal crashes and fatalities, there's a family that's impacted, there's first responders that had to respond to those scenes and handle them, and no one that's involved is ever going to be the same. And until we get that number to zero, we know we have work.